just super job by our pitching staff. Obviously, it was both teams striking each other out. I think we struck them out 13 times. And I think they struck us out 13 times. We only walked them once. But it was just a tough night to hit. Pitching was good, good velocity, pretty good location, and I thought Patrick Wicklander came out and did a really good job. I think he would probably tell you he didn't have the command that he's had, but he still was really good. It's hard to hit, and Monk came in and fell behind 3-1 against a lefty. We were just trying to get through that inning with him. I went breaking ball, and got a strikeout. And then Kevin, and I think Kevin would probably tell you that, he didn't have his best stuff by far. And it was just good enough. But good rally there in the eighth to kind of give us a little bit of a cushion. But I feel real fortunate that we won the ball game, honestly. I thought, Sullivan pitched an outstanding game for them.
Hutch.
Dave, you kind of touched on it there with Kops, but he almost looked human there at the beginning of his outing. What did you see in those first few at-bats, and how was he able to kind of settle it down after that?
He's leaving some pitches up, and they tried to get on him quick. They started out and they took a couple pitches. They realized he was going to throw strikes, and then they started swinging. But just didn't really command the ball like he had, maybe as much, but he had some really good, pitches as well, where he got through some hitters pretty quick. But give Georgia credit; they battled and they fought us, and again, they're one hit here and there away from tying us, taking the lead a couple of times, as we were, one or two hits away from blowing it open. We couldn't get it until finally Robert, fought off a tough pitch and just kind of slung it into center field.
And he threw 54 pitches tonight. I mean, do you think he'd be available again tomorrow or Sunday?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he could go again.
Matt?
I thought Opitz had a couple of big plays to the game. Had the hit in the second inning that gave you the lead. And then he had that kind of weird pickoff play, I think, when Kevin was on the mound. Those two plays, how big did you think they were to the outcome?
Well, obviously the double that he hit was right after Robert hit a double. And then, Casey, I think he got down in the count a little bit, and he went down and got him a breaking ball and stayed over it, stayed through it, and hit it hard down the left field line for, the only run for pretty much the whole game until we finally scored in the eighth. So, it was a huge hit. And then the play he made with the pitch that was in the dirt was obviously a very good block, which Casey does all the time. And, the runner, he read the pitch out of the hand, I'm sure, that it was in the dirt and he was going to try to go, and Casey smothered it. And then, like a veteran, he didn't go out there and just throw it to one of the runners, throw it to one of the fielders where the runner might have an opportunity to run to the other bag. He made him commit by going after him slowly, under control, instead of, maybe a runner at second, all of a sudden they have nobody on. And I think that might have been with no outs at the time. So that was maybe our first out. I don't remember exactly, but it was a huge play at the time.
And then Robert Moore fell behind 0-2 before he got the big RBI hit in the eighth inning. What did you think of that at bat and the way that he battled back to get the pitch that he could hit?
That was just an outstanding at bat. I mean, he got down 0-2 and then he fouled a pitch or two off, maybe took a ball, took another, I think the 1-2 pitch was a slider in, and they called it a ball. And, they had a little visit. The catcher went out, and they had a long visit out there. The umpire pretty much had to go out there and break them up, and probably just trying to get everything, on the same page, what they wanted to do, where they wanted to throw it. Robert fought a pitch off or two, and then he got the big hit up the middle. It was just a clutch at bat, and a big part of the game. And we knew that, that it was going to be a fight in the ninth, and score two more runs was huge for us.
Randy?
Sorry about that, Dave. What made the Georgia pitcher Sullivan so effective tonight against the Arkansas batters?
Pretty much that he was throwing that, border, I would call it borderline strike ball, fastball at the top of the zone, high spin pitch. It looked like kept playing and out of the hand. It looked like it was going to be down a little bit. And I don't think anybody hit it hard unless it was above, when it was above the waist. And he threw strikes, and he probably threw more strikes tonight than he has consistently. He had, I think might have been the fourth inning when he walked Gregory to lead off that inning. On 4 pitches, I'm thinking, here we go. And then I think he threw a ball to the next hitter, and he's thrown 5. And then he might have thrown 2 in a row, and then he got it together. I think it was he did a nice job of flipping the switch there and finding the zone, but it's really difficult to hit that fastball that was up in the zone. He's kind of a short arm lefty with a little bit different arm slot. And we just did not track it very well, obviously.
Dave, did the 1-0 score after 6 kind of dictate Cops at that point?
Yeah, I mean, we felt like we had 9 outs to get. We had Kevin getting ready. If Monk wouldn't have got that lefty out, we would have brought him in, because the game right there, the way the game was going, we felt like that could be the ball game. And if you remember, the runner ended up going to third base, I think, I don't know exactly what happened, but we had a 3-1 count on the lefty, and Monk threw a really good breaking ball for a strike, and then he threw another one, and he got a check swing, strike 3. If he wouldn't have got that hitter, we were going to bring Kevin in there. He would have, had to get probably obviously 10 outs.
Wild pitch, moving to third. Thanks,
Yeah.
Coach.
Okay.
Hayden.
Hey, Coach, I was actually going to ask about Monk. I know he only faced 1 batter, but to come into that situation, throws the wild pitch, to bounce back to get that strikeout, is that good for his confidence moving forward? And maybe he gets a little bit of a bigger role if he's needed to call in that tough situation in the future?
Yeah, well, we have a lot of confidence in him. I feel like that, that Caden's confident, and I'm sure that was big for him to spin 2 breaking balls in a row in that situation and get that big strikeout. And, if it would have been a little different situation, maybe a 2 or 3 run lead, we might have sent him back out. But, we kind of had to go with the formula that's been winning right now. And, we didn't want to look back and say, why didn't we go with Kevin there if something didn't go right. But yeah, Caden, he's a guy that we have no problem putting him in the middle of the fire, so to speak. We've done it really the last 4 weekends.
Andrew.
Hey, Coach. Last week, Wicklander threw almost 80% fastballs, and tonight it seemed like he was getting ahead with his off-speed more. How encouraging is it to see him continue to put together some good outings in different ways?
Yeah, he did. I think it was the 2nd time through. Maybe he started to face these guys the 3rd time through. He started using his off speed a little bit to start him off with, and he was getting ahead of some guys with it. So that was big. They were swinging. He wasn't really getting the outer half with right-handed hitter up. The 50-50 ball is what we call it, the one that's really right on the outside corner, maybe just a touch off. He wasn't getting that pitch, and but he was getting the inside fastball to the right-hander, and he was able to get it there a little bit. But yeah, I mean, he's put together some good outings now. He's given us a chance to win. Really since the Mississippi State game. Every time we put him out there, he pitches well, and he's confident. You can just tell by the way he acts out there. He's not phased. He's ready to go.
Hutch.
Dave, you talked about his RBI double, but Opitz also had that really nice bunt in the 7th. Was that call, or was that him, and what did you think about that?
Yeah, we put the bunt on right there, hoping that he would get it down the third base line, and at a minimum we'd get a sacrifice out of it. It was that kind of game, 1-0, and we all of a sudden we had the bases loaded, no outs, and we don't score, and you're thinking, wow, man, this is going to be tough. You don't get away with that too much in those type of games and hold on to it. And that was a tremendous bunt. A little slick out there from the rain, water coming up at night, and it ended up being a really, really good bunt, but we didn't capitalize on it.
And speaking of that situation, I mean, with the righty reliever, was there any thought to maybe pinch hit with Smith for Nesbitt there in the
Yeah,
seventh?
but it all comes down to your defense because we have the lead. I mean, yeah, there's more than a little bit of thought on it, but it's even if we hit a sac fly there, we got a 2-run lead, and I bring a pinch hitter, then we don't have our most experienced defender in there. It doesn't mean I'm going to play him every day just because of defense, and Smith will be in there tomorrow. But Jacob has been there in many tough situations over the last few years, so he was the guy that we wanted in there with the lead late in the game.
Randy, anything else?
Just one more, Dave. When Kevin came on in the seventh, he kept scuffing around on the mound. Was there something wrong with the mound, or maybe his cleats or the dirt?
Yeah.
He just didn't look comfortable.
Yeah, both pitchers were doing it. I think Wick was doing it a little bit too earlier. It's just that the dirt was kind of building up in their spikes between pitches. Maybe not every pitch, but I mean, it was really a lot of moisture in the air, a lot in the ground. I mean, it rained right when Georgia started taking batting practice. We had just gotten off the field. It rained and hailed before we could get the tarp on. So then you put the tarp on, it's just holding in all that water. So it was it was real tacky out there. Really, that was the issue.
Thanks,
All right.
Dave.
Thanks for your time, Coach.
Okay, see you guys.